Picture California as a loaf of bread inside a preheated oven. That's what a heat dome does. A heat dome is a massive area of high pressure in the upper atmosphere, acting like an invisible lid over the state. This high-pressure system pushes down, compressing the air and making it hotter, just like pumping up a bike tire. The sun's heat rises, but instead of escaping, it hits the lid and gets pushed back down, creating a cycle of reheating. Unlike a normal hot day, a heat dome traps warmth, making nights just as relentless as the days. Normally, cool ocean air provides relief, but the heat dome blocks it, shutting off California's natural air conditioning. That's why even coastal cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles are sweltering. Meteorologists call this a ridge of high pressure, but it's really a giant heat trap. It's not just a string of hot days, it's a large-scale weather event turning the state into a convection oven. Understanding the heat dome is key to understanding why this heat wave is so intense. It's a powerful atmospheric force, locking heat in place and pushing cool air away. This is why the current heat wave feels so different and so much more dangerous than a typical summer scorcher. The heat dome is the main culprit behind California's extreme, unrelenting heat. Let's break down the science behind this heat. High pressure means a heavy column of air pushing down, warming and drying as it sinks, like a giant hairdryer over California. This compressional heating is what drives the heat wave, not just the sun. Normally, the land heats up faster than the ocean, drawing in cool sea breezes, the marine layer, but the heat dome's high pressure blocks this, leaving even coastal areas hot and dry. This year, humidity is making things worse. Moisture from the south has crept in, making the air sticky. When it's humid, sweat doesn't evaporate well, so your body can't cool down. That's why a humid 95 degrees can feel worse than a dry 105. At night, humidity acts like a blanket, trapping heat and keeping temperatures high. Instead of cooling off, cities stay in the low 80s overnight. This lack of relief is dangerous. Our bodies and homes never get a break. The cumulative stress from days and nights of heat can lead to serious health risks. The heat dome, missing sea breezes, and added humidity combine to make this heat wave especially punishing. It's not just about daytime highs, it's about relentless, round-the-clock heat. That's why this event is so hazardous for everyone, everywhere. California's geography means the heat wave hits regions differently. The Central Valley, a giant bowl surrounded by mountains, traps heat with nowhere for it to escape. Cities like Sacramento and Fresno can soar above 110 degrees, baking for days on end. Deserts like Palm Springs and Death Valley are used to heat, but this wave is breaking records and lasting longer than usual. Nighttime lows above 90 degrees put extra strain on people and infrastructure. Even the coast, usually cooled by the Pacific, is sweltering as the heat dome squashes the marine layer. Los Angeles sees huge differences. Santa Monica might be 85, while the San Fernando Valley hits 108. Even San Francisco's famous fog can't break through, leaving the city unusually hot. The experience of this heat wave depends on where you live. Dry and searing in Fresno, sticky and oppressive in LA, or just warm on the beach. Statewide warnings matter, but local forecasts are crucial for understanding your risk. California isn't one climate, it's many, and the heat treats each one differently. Microclimates mean your neighbor's weather could be very different from yours. That's why it's important to pay attention to local conditions, not just statewide alerts. The heat dome is testing every region's limits, from valleys to coasts to deserts. No part of California is untouched by this event. This isn't just a hot spell, it's historic. Cities like Sacramento and Fresno are threatening all-time temperature records. But the real danger is at night, with record-high minimums, temperatures that never drop below 80 or even 85 degrees. Our bodies need cool nights to recover from daytime heat. Without that, the risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke skyrockets. People without air conditioning, the elderly, and those with health conditions are especially vulnerable. After days of relentless heat, the cumulative effect can turn discomfort into a medical emergency. The urban heat island effect, where concrete and asphalt radiate heat all night, makes things worse. Emergency services are on high alert, not just for daytime heat stroke, but for nighttime health crises. The most insidious threat isn't the afternoon high, but the stifling, unrelenting heat that never lets up. This is the silent danger of modern heat waves. It's a marathon of endurance, not just a sprint through a hot afternoon. Extreme heat ripples through every part of life. Hospitals see more patients with dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Chronic conditions worsen, especially for outdoor workers, the elderly, and those without reliable air conditioning. The power grid strains as millions run air conditioners nonstop, risking blackouts if demand outpaces supply. The paradox, the tool we need to survive, AC, can threaten the grid's stability. Wildfire risk skyrockets as dry vegetation becomes tinder, and firefighters face extra danger in the heat. Air quality plummets as the heat dome traps pollutants, creating smog and hazardous conditions. Wildfires add smoke and particulates, making the air dangerous even far from the flames. The heat wave is a public health, infrastructure, and environmental crisis all at once. Every Californian feels the impact, whether it's in the air, the power, or their own health. The ripple effects are immediate, widespread, and severe. It's easy to think this heat wave is a rare fluke, but the data says otherwise. As the planet warms from greenhouse gases, heat waves are becoming more frequent, intense, and long-lasting. California's average temperature has risen steadily over the last century. The 10 hottest years on record have all happened since 2000. Heat waves start earlier, end later, and reach higher temperatures. The heat dome is a natural pattern, but climate change is making it stronger and more dangerous. A warmer baseline means these events push into record-breaking territory. This is the fingerprint of climate change on our weather. The California we know, its climate, crops, and way of life, is changing. Today's heat waves are a preview of future summers if warming continues unchecked. This isn't just weather, it's climate in action. Each record heat wave is a warning sign, not just a statistic. The choices we make now will shape the world we leave for the next generation. Every heat wave has a beginning, middle, and end. This one started building around August 19th, peaking by August 22nd and lasting through the weekend. The danger is highest during this peak, when records fall and stress on people and infrastructure is greatest. Relief is coming. Forecasts show temperatures should gradually drop starting early next week as the heat dome weakens. By midweek, most of California should return to more normal temperatures. This isn't just a few hot days. It's a complex, dangerous event driven by a massive heat dome and amplified by climate change. We've seen how it traps heat, blocks sea breezes, and impacts every region differently. The real story is about the people. Farm workers, seniors, firefighters, and families all facing unique challenges. This heat wave is a warning, a glimpse of a future where such events are common. Understanding the science is key to staying safe and building resilience. The choices we make today will determine how we weather the storms and heat of tomorrow.